This is Dunans. We showed you the shot he hit against Mercer. He had a good game against Mercer. And a runner, in he comes, and up he goes.
Yeah, he has some conditioning issues sometimes, but in transition and going towards the basket, he's a very effective player.
13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists against Mercer. Now Oklahoma trying to get it done without their fine guard, Jordan Woodard. If you've just joined us, Woodard
pass
not playing, and Heron with a catch and travel and a turnover for Auburn.
Oh, it's the birthday of basketball. It's the birthday of this guy. Happy birthday to you. And Rich Waltz and Doug Gottlieb, a couple keys to the game. Auburn has to learn to take the best shot. Bruce Pearl does not put a governor on his team, but they can't get caught up and get wild and take unconventional shots. They'll shoot a low percentage. And for Oklahoma, a team that we pointed out has led by double digits in all 4 of their losses in the first half. They have to understand momentum. You don't have Jordan Woodard. You have a new point guard in Shepard. If things go bad, play slower, execute, and don't get caught up into some wild three-point shooting fest where it allows Auburn to press and turn it into kind of an AAU game.
Well, the shooting fest, you saw those numbers. Combined 2 of 13 are these two teams. A far cry from our first game tonight. Fairfield and Boston College, both teams shot it well, over 50%. Fairfield took down BC out of the ACC. That man right there had a pivotal role in that game against Memphis, and it's Dante Buford who hit 3 threes off the bench and a steal there. This is Jordan Shepard, freshman out of Asheville, North Carolina.
And they think they may have found the point guard that they need. And Oklahoma fans know Jordan Woodard last year moved to the 2-guard position, and they're desperately in need of a point with Isaiah Cousins playing in the D-League in Reno.
That's a deep 3 by Harper, and he misses it. Jamani McNeese is in for Oklahoma. He played very well against Memphis. And sloppy drive, Cameron McGusty lost it. Dunans walked. I don't know that this is what James Naismith had in mind.
No, he might be rolling over in that grave, but look, Shepard has played terrific basketball. Really, you look at when Oklahoma struggled against Memphis. I mentioned the game you called with Jim Spinarco. It was when he was out of the game. When he's in the game, they've been much more solid. And you look at the Big 12 point guards this year, it's going to be a monumental challenge. Oklahoma hasn't had great point guard play. Neither has Texas. You look at where they are record-wise.
Buford misses his first 2 threes here tonight.
Jordan Woodard, what a tremendous career he's had for OU. Sophomore season, really struggled with his jump shot. Last year they moved him to the 2, and he just exploded offensively. Tremendous leader. He's also very quiet. Like, he's not, his mentality, his emotion is not one of a barking leader. And with a young team, the team kind of needs that.
And that's the importance of finding a point guard, a viable one.
Yeah, being point guard is more than just dribbling the ball up the floor.
Dunans. It's a high ball screen and launches. Wow. Yep. That missed badly. Oklahoma has numbers as a result. And a wing 3, Shepard missed it. Neither team shooting well right now. Ball out of bounds.
But Oklahoma's getting better shots. They're not going in, but Shepard's 3, he was on balance. A beautiful pass by Odoms. And he just didn't make it. The Dunnan shot, like, he's not a good shooter. It's not going to go in. Or a very low percentage of times it's going to go in.
125 years ago today, basketball was born here in the state of Connecticut at a YMC training center. Dr. James Naismith said, I got 2 peach baskets and a soccer ball for that first game. Back before there was a cone of verticality. Been waiting to use that one this year.
They would not have needed the ladder much to get that ball out of the peach basket so far in this game.
McNeese angry that he didn't get the ball in the lower blocks. Let's see if Odoms can get it to him. He was very good in the low blocks against Memphis. And a long 3 from Darian Strong-Moore, who's in to run the point right now for Oklahoma. Auburn is 1 of 8 Oklahoma 2 of 13 and a corner three. Finally, Mustafa Heron.
But that's all set up by TJ Dunans, who's not a great shooter, but is, when he's going downhill, when he's going towards the basket, very effective player. And he set up Heron for that wide open corner jump shot.
Strongmore has it picked, and it's Heron to the rim, and he finishes.
Went to Sacred Heart High School up the road in Waterbury, Connecticut. Mustafa Heron is a scoring machine. I wouldn't say there's one thing he does well. He's not a great shooter, he's not a great post-up player, but he can score at 3 levels: three-point line, mid-range, in the post. He does them all particularly well.
Odoms kicks it. Buford's. And Oklahoma's shooting woes continue. 2 of 14 right now. Catch and finish, but no bucket. The whistle came before the shot. Actually, a very athletic move by McLemore.
This is what happens with Mustafa Heron. Bad spacing for Oklahoma. Not the smart pass, but because he got the 3 on the previous possession, he ends up being a little bit more active defensively and getting the layup.
We had a chance to visit with Bruce Pearl today. Such a really
ball of energy,
effervescent
yes.
Distributor of basketball lore and knowledge. Very upbeat about the recruiting class that he has. Austin Wiley obviously is the first to get here, maybe a little ahead of schedule, but he signed a great class. Couple more top 50 players are coming. And a very talented freshman group on the floor tonight. He started 4 freshmen, a 7-0 run. Auburn up 6. Latin, not a great low post player, but a good look there and a shot block. McLemore rips it away.
McLemore getting more minutes because a couple of his teammates had been suspended, so McLemore earned his way into more rotation minutes.
And those 2 players are eligible to play tonight, Horace Spencer and Bryce Brown, though they have lost their starting positions. And a nifty step through by Rashard Odoms. Stop and go from Ronnie Johnson. Heron. A lot of friends and family here to watch him. Oklahoma with the ball down 4. Shepard. Dunans off of Shepard's leg. It's an Auburn ball. SEC Big 12. Oklahoma and Auburn early.
I'd also say, boy, Oklahoma has gotten off to a slow start.
All right, there are the numbers tonight: 4 of 12, 3 of 16. But I want to step back and explore this Gottlieb number. Is that like the basketball equivalent of the Mendoza line?
Yes. Yes. When I was at Oklahoma State, we played the Bedlam game, of course, against OU. They had the Gottlieb brickometer, and every time I missed a shot, they would move the needle. And there was my junior year, we lost down there. We were 2-1, but the brickometer got extensive use.
I think somewhere in Norman, in a closet, that brickometer still survives. Wiley's back in the ball game, calling for the ball in the low blocks. Kick out for a deep 3, and Dunans has been the best offense for Auburn so far tonight.
And you have to credit Bruce Pearl for going to Ronnie Johnson, TJ Dunans. Johnson, a 5th-year senior transfer from Houston and Purdue. And TJ Dunans, 24 years old. Lang as well, an older player. So he started with 4 freshmen, but the vets have come through and played better basketball.
Matt Freeman in for Oklahoma. James kicks Odoms. This is Freeman. What a boost it would be if Freeman gets loose. The redshirt freshman, the Kiwi out of New Zealand.
Yeah, came in, joined the team about mid-season last year. They really like what he eventually will bring to the table.
Nice shot by Dunans is off. There's a lot of eventualities out on the floor right now, aren't there? A lot of freshmen. 4. Wow! Look at that. Dunans way up to block it. And on his way down the floor, he finds Lang for 3. How sweet is that?
Of course, TJ Lang's dad, Antonio Lang, famously played at Duke and a couple national championship teams. He's more of a shooter than his dad, who was a great shot blocker.
Latin, and he misses a jump hook. Auburn with a 7-point lead. Johnson launches. James.
That one looked good. It just a little bit short.
Oklahoma 1 of 7 from beyond the arc. Auburn is 3 of 11. The senior transfer out of Houston. Johnson is fouled.
Well, it starts at the defensive end with T.J. Dunans. And a great block shot, and then he drives in, kicks it out to T.J. Lang. And that's Lang's job. He may be 6'8", 6'9", but he's a three-point shooter.
Auburn basketball on the baseline. And an off-balance runner there from Heron. And here comes Oklahoma. James. And that rims out. 4 of 21 from the field is Oklahoma right now. 9 minutes left, first half.
And this is where your Auburn run a little offense, get a good shot, you can extend that lead. Because Oklahoma will make shots. Just playing the percentage eventually. Talk about regressing towards the mean. They'll go the other way.
Oklahoma foul, 5th team foul. Auburn has just 2.
Oklahoma fouls on 0.
That's Darian Strong Moore, junior college transfer. He now is the backup to Jordan Shepard at the point. And an offensive foul in low. LaRon Smith, a little too strong with that screen.
That's his first personal.
And that's the new interpretation of displacement. Whereas you go back last year, previous years in college basketball, you posted up, you could bump your guy off his space and get in there and either catch the basketball or create a lane for your opponent. If you move the defense by posting up, it's technically supposed to be called a foul. I don't like the interpretation, but that's what they're calling.
Latin missed the shot. Auburn on the move. Great no-look pass in low, but no finish.
Devin Waddle getting really good minutes for Auburn.
And Oklahoma gets the basketball back. It's been a miserable night so far for the Sooners, who are 4 of 22 from the field, 1 of 7 from distance. Again, without Jordan Woodard, high groin strain. Lon Kruger erring on the side of caution. Conference plays around the corner. You got the Christmas break. Why not give him tonight off and hope that he's ready to go for Baylor?
Right, and they're flying back to Oklahoma City later on tonight. Is a miscommunication leads to another Oklahoma turnover. Their 5th so far. You're understanding why Strong Moore has struggled to maintain minutes and maintain his spot as a starting point guard.
Auburn starting 4 freshmen. Lon Kruger has a lot of freshmen in his rotation. Christian Doolittle and Jordan Shepard getting the start. Some more freshmen coming off the bench as well. And another foul in tight.
Yeah, well, T.J. Lang is trying to, Oklahoma's switching all their screens. And so T.J. Lang's trying to screen his own man. I think they missed the first call, but that's a foul on T.J. Lang. You can't move like that. You can't stick out the chicken wing either. But one of the things you can do when team switches, you just screen your own man, and it's still effective.
Ball kicked loose. Dunans. Oh, a nice job to avoid the block. He had Doolittle in orbit above him and kind of went under for the layup. And Auburn's biggest lead is 9 points now. Strong Moore off on the 3. And the rebound to Anthony McLemore. Harper in
what
transition. And Heron fouled on the blocks despite the dunk. That was before the shot. Auburn up by 9.
Off the court. He started a reading program in his home city of Waterbury, all the while winning 54 straight high school basketball games and winning a state championship for Sacred Heart. He also has started a gun violence awareness program in Alabama. He says he learns his help for the world from his father, Brian Herron, who played at Central Connecticut. So I think there's a little basketball skill and a little helpfulness in both of them. Yeah, and you know, Jamie, it's a great trip for him, because a game here at the Mohegan Sun, and then in a couple days, a chance to take on UConn.
Yeah, but the XL Center, that's actually an afternoon game, a 2 o'clock in the afternoon game. So there's a little bit of NCAA tournament to it. Not that Auburn is definitely an NCAA tournament team, but a little bit of that feel where you play the late game. It's 9 o'clock local. We'll be done here around 10:15. And then you play again in a day and a half at 2 o'clock.
Oklahoma getting a bucket from Jamoni McNeese. And
what a great name, right?
It would be a nice shot in the arm if he had the type of game he did against Memphis, because Oklahoma needs somebody to shoot it. And shoot it better than they have been. 5 of 24 is Lon Kruger's ball club. Of course, last year, a Final Four trip. Buddy Hield, Naismith, Wooden Award.
What an incredible career he had. And the great thing that Buddy brought to Oklahoma, not just the Buddy love, the idea of a great smile, but was a work ethic. He made himself into the best shooter in college basketball.
First one is good. Covering everything from the field through fantasy, Tops puts a fresh spin on your morning countdown to kickoff. Join our team of experts on a special day and time, Saturday morning, 10 Eastern. Other pregame show, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. At the Mohegan Sun, there's a lot to do. You've got a basketball arena, you've got casinos. Do you know Boomer and Carton actually have a bar up here at the Mohegan Sun?
I'm aware. Carton has made me aware. Craig Carton. It's a radio show you can see on CBS Sports Network, #1 sports radio show in New York City.
Did he comp you, though?
He has not comped.
That's just so wrong on many levels. And there is McNeese coming off that great game against Memphis. 2 buckets to really settle Oklahoma down here. Auburn high-low, and Herron underneath on the look from Austin Wiley. So a 17-year-old getting it to another freshman. And Auburn stretches the lead to 9. Be interested to see once they get into SEC play how SEC opponents handle Austin Wiley at 17.
Well, it's also going to be interesting to see how sore Austin Wiley is. When you haven't practiced in a real practice and then you get thrown into games, I don't care how good a shape you think you are. You're not in game shape.
James, and a foul on the floor. Herron was locked up with Christian Doolittle of Oklahoma.
You mentioned Mustafa Herron. Really good feel on Auburn's last offensive possession. This is an automatic within. Look, now you get him posted up, okay? And when you post up, well, on the catch, every team has rules. Austin Wiley a little slow with the pass, but Oklahoma so porous defensively, they're able to get a lane.
Fresh shot clock. Remember, Wiley in the win over Mercer was not only 15 minutes, but he was in crunch time and hit a key basket in the last minute of the game. McNeese again on the entry, working against the 17-year-old. And his jump hook never drew iron. No reset shot clock. It's at 10. Shepard creates space and misses his shot. Auburn can stretch it to double digits. Wiley on the floor, off the glass. Doolittle triggers it. James to a trailer. McGusty misses. Good active hands of the Oklahoma rebounders.
And really good shots that Oklahoma got right there in transition.
Auburn gets it back. Oklahoma turnover.
I'm not exactly sure we're doing Dr. James Naismith proud with this game.
No, but Lon Kruger did take his team to the Hall of Fame on this trip. He said it was, the kids enjoyed the history, but they really enjoyed the interactive games.
Yeah, of course. It's an incredible place. A really, really spectacular building, and
good job by McNeese to body Wiley out on that lob.
And it does speak to one of the things Lon Kruger is about, which is more than just basketball. The history of the game. He is just such a warm and engaging personality. He has completely changed the feel and momentum of Oklahoma basketball, not just wins and losses, but within the community.
McNeese misses. The lids are on the peach baskets here in Connecticut. Johnson to Wiley, and I believe he was fouled. And he was. Shots aren't falling for Auburn or Oklahoma. All 5 of those schools have an NCAA tournament win under Lon Kruger.
And of course now with having to remake his staff, we look to his left, our right. That's his son Kevin, of course, transferred in from Arizona State, played for him at UNLV. I said, Coach, how's your new staff? He said, all good but one, a little suspect. But I know the mother. She's a good lady, so I think we'll keep him.
Well, he said it was different than coaching his son. The 1 year he got to coach his son. He said there was still a dad in you when you were coaching your son. And now that he's on the staff, he's just Kevin.
Of course, his daughter and son-in-law have moved to Norman as well. They have established a home. Obviously, like that, Captain Obvious. Vegas was still home. He still owns a home in Vegas. But Vegas was still kind of home early on when he moved there, and his family was kind of scattered. Now you get your son, your daughter, your grandbaby there. Like, Norman is home. For a guy who has been a basketball vagabond, it feels like the final stop.
But a vagabond that has had success and helped build programs along the way. He's not a guy that goes someplace and then bails. He always seems to leave a place better than when he showed up. Oh, that's a difficult shot. Cameron McGusty, the freshman from Keene, Texas.
By way of Sunrise Prep in Kansas.
It's Buddy Hield's
stomping ground.
Dunans, crossover, galloping in, and he missed the runner.
Here's McGusty, beautiful spin, layup. He was fouled. That's an and one. McGusty drawing the contact, using that big, strong body. He's got a bright future in Lloyd Noble.
Auburn's lead is 9, approaching the 3-minute mark in a half where neither team has really shot it well. 22% Oklahoma from the field, 35% Auburn.
Now, Oklahoma, one of those sneaky great basketball tradition programs. You know? Oh, that was not in the game plan. You know what I mean? Like Billy Tubbs takes them to a national championship game in the 80s with Stacey King and Mookie Blaylock and Seger and those guys. And then, of course, Kelvin Sampson, early 2000, takes him to a Final Four. And then Lon Kruger takes him to a Final Four. To have 3 different coaches speaks to not just the talent, but the basketball tradition of the Sooners.
McNeese denied and fouled.
2 times, here we go, 2.
But they cannot crack the code at all, as Oklahoma is now getting some paint touches. And Waddell is just a step slow. I don't think he was the one who fouled. I think it was LeRon Smith. Maybe he got called for a foul because he fired up that Scud missile on the last jump shot.
Jamoni McNeese. Brent Stover, Wally Zerbiak, John Rothstein. It is AT&T at the half, and it's coming up. Busy night in college basketball. First half highlights. And Wally Zerbiak will solve the shooting issues for both Oklahoma and Auburn in 3 easy steps.
And how about Syracuse getting taken behind the woodshed at home by St. John's? Whoa, did not see that one coming.
Lang back in.
Yes, I'm the guy who did not believe they belonged in the NCAA tournament last year. And I use that line because they lost to St. John's. St. John's was terrible last year. They're slightly better this year. It's not just the loss, it's the way in which they lost. Wow.
2:21 left here. Auburn on top of Oklahoma by 8.
And one of the things Syracuse has in front of them is Ron Smith gets a little lob from the inbounds play. Same thing OU's going to have in front of them, which is there are a lot of good wins to be had in the Big 12. But there's just not an off night. You know? Is TCU the worst team? Well, they've haven't lost this year. Kansas State, I saw them last week. DJ Johnson, 23 years old. He's a man inside. That's a good team. Xavier Sneed, their star freshman. Texas is maybe the worst team in the league. They're 500, but they're still Texas. Like, that's not a walk in the park for OU when you go down to Austin. So, yeah, you can get some top 50 wins, top 25 wins. But you could also get buried a little bit in this league.
McNeese with a free throw. And we asked Lon Kruger about that. He said, well, I'm not sure where we are right now. He said, but I do know this. We've had some really good minutes.
Yep.
And then he paused. He said, and then we've had some stretches with some not so good minutes.
Very normal. Look, it's a young team. They're still very much in on a superstar talent from Norman North High School named Trey Young. His dad was a tremendous player. I played against Texas Tech, Rayford Young. And you could see the whole thing change if they can get Trey Young to fill in for Jordan Woodard. Trey's kind of like Jordan, a point guard, but can also play the two, a Steph Curry type of talent. Them, Kentucky, Kansas.
Lang hits a free throw, and of course with Auburn, I mean, 4 freshmen starting here, including Austin Wiley, who's only going to get better. A couple more top 50 players in that recruiting class will be on campus next year. The future, I mean, you can really see Bruce Pearl from the very, very ground up, maybe even the basement, starting to build a program.
No question. They've sold out their season tickets.
3 years in a row.
3 years in a row. There's excitement on the Plains. They built the perfect size arena, not even 10,000 seats. So they can have a rowdy home court advantage. It's just hard to win with young players.
Odoms, awkward shot. And there's the 17-year-old. Austin Wiley with the rebound. Harper skip pass across. Dunans races around a pick and a great look to Wiley for the dunk. Wow. That's the future. Odoms with the left hand. The seas just parted, and Odoms happy to race down the lane.
Austin Wiley just got a dunk. I would get him a post touch. Young player reacts well to the dunk. And he starts feeling good about himself. Look for him on this roll.
There's the pick. There's the roll. Wiley calling for the ball. Harper got the three.
Jared
Auburn, double-digit lead.
He's a good shooter, but a very good big opportunity shooter. MVP of the Peach Jam a couple years ago. Jared Harper, talented point guard who can lead a team, but also can knock in a bucket or two.
Buford drives, kicks it. Oklahoma holds the possession.
You know, in my day, when I'd get a dunk, I'd play much better. Okay, maybe that wasn't true, but boy, Austin Wiley and then back the other way. Ooh, Shard Odoms. What a finish. Lefties.
Oklahoma's going to take that timeout with 39 seconds left.
He's tremendous. Now remember, he comes from the Dr. Tom Davis coaching tree. Was a manager when he was a student at Boston College, where Dr. Tom was the coach.
They're hooked up at Iowa then. There's a block. TJ Lang got a piece.
And you look at that SEC and the money that's been spent on bringing in big-name coaches. The players will soon follow.
Auburn fouls on 31.
Rick Barnes of Tennessee. Avery Johnson of Alabama. Frank Martin's done an outstanding job. It's taken time. They've done an outstanding job at South Carolina.
We asked Bruce Pearl what are the similarities in taking over Tennessee and taking over at Auburn. He felt that the cupboard at Tennessee wasn't quite as bare when he got there, that there was talent there, and obviously he took that talent to 6 NCAA tournaments in 6 years. Here from the ground up, but great support, he said, from the administration, great support from the fans. You talked about the sellouts, and a fabulous group of freshmen, not only here, but another class coming. Final seconds, first half. You see the shot clock, 4-second differential. Dunans got it. Picking up where he left off against Mercer. Got to get it up. Shepard weaves his way.
It's a legal screen.
And McNeese screening. Jared Harper goes down hard. There's 3 seconds left.
That's a really hard play from Jamoni McNeese. He sticks out his leg. And outstanding call on the play.
Timeout. 3 seconds left. You got the ball.
Run the Mercer play.
Three-quarter court. What do you got?
Run the Mercer play. You want to get the ball to Jared Harper with his momentum going, or TJ Dunans with their momentum going towards the basket. Plenty of time with 2.9 seconds to go.
They get it to Harper. Crossover. McLemore. Too much time. Will not count. Look good. But a little. That's brought to you by Visit Myrtle Beach. Jamie Erdahl down on the floor. Jamie?
Well, Rich, when I asked Coach, you're shooting 23% from the field, 11% from beyond the arc. At some point, you just think you're going to buy a basket and get one in there. He said, we're rushed. We need more patience on offense. They're missing Jordan Woodard, but you can't use that as an excuse. You need to buy into your offense, take your time, get deeper into the shot clock. Defensively, too many breakdowns in transition. He said they got to lock that up to make up on this deficit.
All right, thank you, Jamie. And if you're just happening by this ball game, that's the main storyline going into the game. Jordan Woodard, the fine guard for Oklahoma, out with a high groin strain. They're hopeful he is back at the start of Big 12 play against Baylor in a little over a week's time. Kadeem Lattin's pass is stolen. Jared Harper up the floor. Meanwhile, Auburn played inspired ball, and there's that 17-year-old again, Austin Wiley.
Well, there's Kadeem Lattin, who you mentioned, one of the few holdovers from last year who legitimately played. He's a good open jump shooter. He has a 15-foot jump shot he does not take.
Ooh. Well, he didn't miss that. That was from close in, and there was a whistle before the dunk.
And Austin Wiley trailing as Kadeem Lattin goes for the block shot and then just kind of gets caught underneath. You see, Wiley, you cannot teach size.
Boy, if you're Bruce Pearl, D'Angelo Purifoy did not play a lot in the first half because he got 2 fouls. He picks up his third in the first minute of the second half. Herron in transition, fouled there by James.
Now, I'm not a big sit a guy with 2 sort of guy, right? My coach in college didn't sit guys with 2. Sometimes he went 3 in the first half. I saw guys play with 4 in the first half because he'd say, you get 5, don't you? But if D'Angelo Purifoy can't be trusted to play like 1 possession without accumulating a foul, I think Bruce Pearl is saying, like, look, here's a young guy. He's a little bit lost defensively. And if I leave him out there, he's just going to keep fouling.
Well, the good news for Pearl is without Purifoy in the first half, his ball club was able to build a sizable lead.
This kid's a tremendous player. Played with the New York Wrens AAU team. Told you a little bit of his story growing up in hard scrabble area, Connecticut. Connecticut suburbs are fantastic. Cities, not so much. Grew up in Waterbury.
Shepard rises and hits from just inside the arc.
Now, Shepard was going to James Madison. There's some similarities there to Frank Mason. Backdoor pass from D'Angelo Purifoy. That's Mustafa Herron. If you go, you got to go. Bruce Pearlson. Shepard was going to James Madison's coaching change made at James Madison. He became available. Oklahoma needed another guard. And look at how he's played so far up until tonight. He's earned a point guard position.
And a nice backdoor cut. And Shepard, a good bounce pass for Christian James. And Oklahoma showing signs of life coming out here in the second half. Herron rises and hits. Mustafa Herron now with 10 in the ball game. James getting the start in place of Woodard. And a good three-point shooter then. One of the top percentages in the game and the top percentage in the Big 12. A rebounding foul on Auburn.
Well, here's how Oklahoma got their last dunk. Keep an eye on TJ Lang, excuse me. Freeze right there, boys. You see TJ Lang, look, all you man. Where is he looking? He does not see his man who's cutting back door. And a beautiful low angle bounce pass from Shepard. Don't get caught ball watching. He got caught ball watching, and
Winton, second.
Bruce Pearl was thinking about taking him out of the game.
That foul was on Oklahoma. And so Auburn with the possession, 2 minutes in. Auburn's lead is 13. Best win so far for Bruce Pearl this year. Texas Tech, 2-point win there. And then beating UAB down in Cancun by 4. Heron rises. Mustafa Heron stretches the lead. The UAB win was at UAB. Although they enjoyed Cancun.
Yeah, I actually caught the Cancun tournament. Need to put that on the ask list for next year. Purdue beat them, but they were very competitive in that Purdue game for a period of time before Purdue just started hitting jumper after jumper.
Wiley put it on the floor and then lost it to Latin. Shepard, another back cut. Odoms, another layup. And a bucket for Oklahoma.
Again, it's kind of same story where Mustafa Heron caught watching the basketball and not paying attention to his man, and Odom smartly back cuts him and ends up getting the N1. Now, Odom's an interesting story. He grew up with his mom, Donna Stewart. Of course, went over to Iraq when he was just 6 years old. He went to live with his grandparents and his brother, who was a talented basketball player as well. Moved back to Texas when she got back from Iraq, and the reason she sent him to Oklahoma was purely the trust in Lon Kruger. Now, Lon Kruger wasn't talking about ball or team, it was about personal growth, improvement. He established a great rapport with Donna Stewart.
Odom's one of the really young Sooners, just a sophomore. Christian James getting the start. He's a sophomore. You've got Doolittle and Shepard, both freshmen. Latin, the upperclassman, the junior, and his shot blocked.
See, Kadeem Latin, he looks at Austin Wiley and he says, I can beat this guy laterally. But that's not really his game. He's a catch and shoot big guy. So sweep and go and try and dunk it or get the ball on its way. But this trying to go shake and bake one-on-one, like that's not his game. You try to post move against him, that's not his game. Do what you do.
I have a feeling there's going to be a few bigs in the SEC that are going to find that out going against Wiley, who just checked out of the ball game. Not a good pass there by Dunans, and it was stolen. I think Shepard got the steal, but he's being called for the foul.
13, Shepard is third.
It's third personal. Shepard's not happy. Neither is Lon Kruger.
I don't know how that's a foul in Oklahoma. That's a steal. You know what happens when you assume, right?
Yeah, it's something.
You make a bad call. What were you thinking?
Well, I'm glad you said that.
Oh, okay.
From the corner, D'Angelo Purifoy, 39% from distance this year. He averages 16.5. Has not played a lot in this one. Foul trouble. Shepard misses. Whoa! Rising for the rebound. Odoms flushes Oklahoma a much needed bucket.
Powerful 6'6" hybrid player, and you see how good he is both driving to the basket and they're finishing around the rim.
Dunans bumped as he drove to the baseline.
Remember what I told you, when somebody switches, you have a couple options. One is to screen your own man. Take an eye at what Auburn does in this simple out-of-bounds play. They're going to throw it in, fellas, and there's a down screen. And so Harper just screens his own man because Oklahoma wanted to switch. A smart screen, the right pass, the most basic inbounds play that there ever is. You pass it, and then you can go to your right. You can go to either corner, and you're going to get a single-double. Double screen on one side, single on the other. But Auburn and Jared Harper, the freshman, smartly screened his own man.
Single-double.
Single-double. Single on one side, double on the other.
Purifoy is the jumper. Here comes Oklahoma on the move. And Odoms with the left missed it. Hustle by Purifoy for the rebound. Dunans skips the pass. And Harper throws it. Purifoy runs it down. No over and back. It was deflected. No look. Purifoy. A lot of fancy passes, but no shot in Oklahoma. Down 15. That's sent down by Latin.
Now, Rashard Odoms has really energized them offensively. That's a charge.
TJ Dunans with the foul. Oklahoma, though, still down 13.
Got to get a stop, got to get a bucket. And when you're not hitting jump shots, you might as well drive that. Sidney Johnson's camp, learned the fundamentals of basketball with his buddies Reed and Rowan. Came in from Portland, and they were awarded with a big victory today, earlier, as Fairfield took down Boston College.
89-83. Tyler Nelson, Curtis Cobb, 20 points each for Fairfield. It's a nice win over an ACC program. Here, we've got SEC and Big 12.
A preview of the Sugar Bowl as well.
That's right. These guys have not played in a while on the basketball floor, though. Amazingly enough, you would think two major programs would bump into each other somehow.
I mean, they're dominating the boards. They just can't make a shot.
Oklahoma, 13 of 49 from the field and 1 of 10 from beyond the arc. McGusty, big jump stop, and he lost the ball. Auburn on the move. Purifoy gets it back. Dunans. And on a reach, I believe it was before the shot.
Now, it helps that they're up 13. Okay, it helps. And it helps that Denzel Purifoy was around the program last year. But for a young team, it's very easy. You're up 13 to everybody just start rocking and firing. And there was 4 passes in transition there to create that shot, and now foul for TJ Dunans.
Dunans, his birthday today, and he bailed Bruce Pearl and the Tigers out with that great shot to beat Mercer. The shot was great. The reaction for Pearl on the sideline was priceless, too. He really had the body English going because that shot came right in front of him. Now Oklahoma trying to go to work, down 13. Fouls are 5 apiece. 26% from the field is Oklahoma shooting right now. Auburn shooting at 43%. McNeese. Sweeping hook and an offside rebound by Denzel Purifoy. Auburn last year 5 and 13 in the SEC, 11 and 20 overall. Auburn was 15 and 20 in Pearl's first year. Purifoy catch, got it up off the glass, and it rims out.
Last year was kind of a mess for Bruce Pearl in his second year. Some injuries, some defections. And you just, as he pointed out, it's very difficult when there's not a base of good players to come in and on the fly take a JUCO here, take a transfer there, and fix things. And then you get younger players. It's hard to win with young players.
I like the way in our earlier game Jim Christian put it, because he was doing similar work at Boston College. It's like starting an expansion team in college, and it's obviously tough to do that anywhere, but in the ACC for Boston College and in the SEC for Auburn, that's equally tough.
Well, it's a little easier for Auburn. Now, let's see, TJ Dunans, I think he'll be fine. It's a little easier for Auburn because you can take JUCOs, you can't take them at Boston College.
Right.
They have great fan support with the opening of the new arena, which Boston College has just not had. And frankly, the SEC has been a bit down, so that's why the results. But there are a lot of similarities, and it's appropriate that you related the two. I mean, Auburn in 99, we lost to Auburn. They were a 1 seed. Doc Robinson and they had Scott Pullman lit us up in the second round game. Mamadou Ndiaye.
That is not a good sign there at the end of the Auburn bench.
But Auburn has had some good, I mean, Boston College has had some good years. Let's see what happens. I think this is just a knee to the thigh would be my guess. There's the knee, there's the thigh. Or as Forrest Gump said, in the buttocks, sir.
Well, Dunans is down.
And that hurts. That is one of the most painful spots. Remember, they play in a day and a half.
Against Connecticut, they stay in the state.
A little Max's downtown. We'll stake tomorrow night.
They've been in the Northeast already this year. There's a tip. Ball was up on the cylinder.
This is only an 8-point game. Like, as poorly as they've shot the basketball, Oklahoma very much in it.
Heron, and he walked.
I think Mustafa Heron tipped it in, and I actually don't think he walked. But let's see, Mustafa Heron. You make the Those are really soft rims. I made shots in warm-ups. So these must be super,
very soft.
Super soft.
Bruce Pearl looking up at the scoreboard, and it is an 8-point Auburn lead. Auburn's been in control throughout the night. Oklahoma, a miserable night shooting the basketball. Still 29%. They missed that one.
That's a good shot. Much better for Kadeem Latin. He sets the screen. That's the shot they want him to take.
Johnson too strong on the pass. And it went right off the fingertips of Mustafa Heron.
And you can sense that Bruce Pearl's a little concerned as he smartly puts TJ Dunans back in the game instead of allowing him to stretch out and sit there a long time after getting that knee to the back of the thigh.
And now Oklahoma searching for offense without Jordan Woodard tonight. James, who got the start in his place, misses there. But a rebound for Oklahoma. The Sooners do not have a double-figure score right now. Rashard Odoms is their best, and that's a difficult acrobatic shot by Christian James. James had 15 in the overtime loss against Memphis. Latin may have been holding Wiley.
Oklahoma's just kind of hanging around
out there. At the Naismith Hall of Fame, different players, teams are enshrined, one of which is that 65-66 UTEP or Texas Western basketball team that went on to beat Kentucky. David Latin was on that team, and that is his grandson, Kadeem Latin. Now, the team itself was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2007, and to put this into perspective, Kadeem Latin, as you can see there, 6'9", 212. His grandfather at his playing time, 6'6", 225. So I guess you could say they're related. I'm trying to get to that size if I keep eating that cake.
Well, you don't want the nickname that his grandfather had, Big Daddy. And obviously, not only great stories in basketball history, a very important story in our nation's history.
Can I bring it around?
Texas Western. Go ahead.
Who do you play for?
Who's that?
Big Daddy Latin. At Texas Western. Out of bounds, and Oklahoma's going to get the ball. Who do you play for?
Legendary coach, Don Haskins.
Right. Where Don Haskins play?
Haskins played, now you got me on that one. How about Kansas?
Oklahoma A&M.
Oklahoma A&M, which became?
Oklahoma State.
Oh, there we go.
And the other guy who played Oklahoma A&M, Oklahoma State, was Eddie Sutton, who's once again a nominee for the Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame. It's time he gets in.
That's a nifty move there. And the backup point guard, Darian Strong-Moore, and Oklahoma's run 13-0 now, and they've drawn within 4. Johnson.
You got to make that shot if you're going to take it.
Wiley, the 17-year-old, rips down a rebound, gets to the free throw line.
This is kind of classic. This is actually more D-League basketball. Right? First, here's that high ball screen, which Auburn has struggled a little bit to defend. You see Wiley, this is the challenge for him. Big 17-year-old, can you move laterally? Can you guard a ball screen? Kind of all it is defensively. But little D-League basketball as Ronnie Johnson saw Jared Harper about to check in for him. And now it's more of a professional basketball kind of courtesy where you see a guy checking in for you, you get one last shot before that buzzer sounds. That was a bad shot, bad timing, 4-point game for Ronnie Johnson.
And Oklahoma with the ball and a chance to cut even closer now. Freeman launches and missed it. Purefoy with a big rebound.
A smart matchup by Lon Kruger. Freeman, who's a shooter, a perimeter player, and that's going to be a very, very tough cover for Austin Wiley in only his second game as a collegiate player.
TJ Lang out of the ball game for Auburn. LeRon Smith is in, and Austin Wiley will sit down. And if you've just joined us, so has Wiley. He was on campus just a few days ago. This is game number 2 for him. In his first game, after a couple days of practice, 15 minutes against Mercer. And he's played in spots tonight and played pretty well.
That's a smart play from Jared Harper. Jared Harper had an outstanding high school career just outside of Atlanta. Watch, he just drives kind of into the legs. Just kind of purposefully runs into Kadeem Latin. And I don't think Kadeem Latin did anything wrong. I tipped the ball away. What am I supposed to do? He's running into me. But Jared Harper, of course, won the Peach Jam 2 years ago. That's the most prestigious AAU event in the country, Nike-sponsored event in Augusta, Georgia. And it's heady plays like that. He flops a little bit, sells the calls, jumps into guys' legs, but don't let his size fool you. That guy's got a huge heart, and he knows how to make winning plays. And for a team that could not score, to drive into the defender's leg, also pick up a foul, and then make 2 free throws when you can't score, really smart play.
So the lead 6. There's a lot of basketball left here tonight. 10.5 minutes. An uneven shooting night, and that's putting it kindly for Oklahoma. But all of a sudden, they bounce back in. Freeman step back and hits the 3. If there's one guy that could ignite from distance, it's that guy.
Remember, Longford, coach in the NBA, he understands matchup. He has changed his style substantially over the years. The stuff they run is not as intricate, but he does try and find matchups, and Freeman is a shooting forward.
Oh, banging home. The sideline 3 is Dangel Purifoy. Back to 6. Gusty with contact but no whistle. And here comes Auburn. Purifoy triggers the break. Dunans missed. Smith with the rebound. He climbed up over Freeman, and it's a foul on LeRon Smith.
Well, we mentioned how smart it is to bring in a jump shooting 5-man like Matt Freeman. And then the answer, the drive, the draw, the kick by Jared Harper to Dangel Purifoy. Brother-in-law ball. You score, I score. Freeman and Purifoy guarding each other, or standing next to each other but not really guarding each other.
Now Freeman to the line.
As we mentioned, he's a Kiwi. The most famous Kiwi in basketball, calls Oklahoma City home. The monstrous Steven Adams.
Right. And those two have developed a relationship. They work on some social programs as well.
Steven Adams is awesome. What a fantastic personality and an unbelievable player.
Well, there's your score. And who thought Oklahoma, shooting at times under 20% throughout that first half, would be this close?
Well, they played well defensively. They rebounded the ball exceptionally well. It's been offensive rebound after offense. They have 17 offensive boards on it.
Purifoy, and that's a charge. And a nice job by Jamuni McNeese.
Everybody needs a floater, and here's why. Gotta stay on balance, and McNeese kind of fell sideways. Purifoy's 4th personal foul.
Going to bring Dunans back in.
That was a little bit of an assumed charge. If you really took contact, you're not going to fall down sideways. But because he was planted, he got that call. Still, Purifoy has to be under control.
Let's see if Oklahoma can inch closer. James in traffic really forced that. Good defense by Mustafa Heron, the freshman. Harper. Oh, that's a sweet shot off the glass at a severe angle.
Harper's terrific. He's a terrific young player.
Gusty. Oklahoma looking for scoring options without Woodard. McNeese battling in the low blocks.
I'm going to give you a Christmas present. You ready?
I
Cone of verticality. You asked for it,
yeah.
Here it is. Mustafa Heron defensively. He guesses right as the spin move comes. Go ahead, fellas, roll the spin move. He guesses right, sticks his hands up, and he has the cone of verticality. He has the right to that area on the floor all the way up into infinity.
And beyond.
And beyond, yes. Buzz Lightyear will be proud.
Now, that's not a, look, that's a term that has, you know, it's not necessarily an original one, but it's a term that really is emphasized this year.
Point of emphasis.
Point of emphasis, thank you. Dr. Naismith sent that one down long ago.
I don't think Dr. Naismith
from the
cared about point of verticality. No.
All right. Well, that's one of the new points of emphasis.
Dr. Naismith, he couldn't coach. He was under 500.
He couldn't officiate either.
He's the only coach in the history of Kansas basketball with a below 500 record.
Dunans penetrates. Harper launches. Bang! Well, the little man did it inside, and he steps out and hits a big three. And, of course, he's just a freshman. 4 freshmen started for Auburn tonight. And the rebound. Oh, how about that? Did he walk? Did he get the timeout? He got the timeout. Mustafa Heron.
I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, 12 consecutive Big 12 titles, 2 Final Fours, plus native of the Sooner State. We share the same alma mater. Today he was nominated for the 2017 Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame, which of course we celebrate. Bill Self should be in. First ballot, although I would prefer, while Eddie Sutton's still with us, that guy he coached with at Oklahoma State get in before.
Held ball off the rebounds. Possession arrow going to Oklahoma. All right.
The Peach Jam, we mentioned he was the MVP. This guy loves the big moment. He is diminutive, but that in size only. Basketball IQ is off the charts.
For Oklahoma, that's a tough sight. And that's Jordan Woodard, who has not played tonight and will not play.
He's their
groin strain.
Yeah, he's their Sergeant Holka. He's their big toe.
Every team needs a Sergeant Holka.
That's right. I know it's a dated reference, but if you're 40 and over, you're nodding your head right now.
Google it, kids.
You're thinking, man, I might actually have to watch that a little bit later on.
McNeese knocked that out of bounds.
And Jordan Woodard, a great big shot maker. You go back to in high school when he won a state championship with a buzzer shot.
How about the shot he made last week, the end of regulation, down 3 to Memphis. He had 2 men on him. They knew he was shooting a 3 at the buzzer, and he hit it off glass.
Jordan Woodard's a stud.
That shot blocked.
From just outside of Edmond, a town called Arcadia, there's a restaurant there called Pops. Any kind of soda pop you can think of. It's like a diner just off Route 66. Next time you're in Oklahoma, you should go.
Get your kicks. Great run. TJ Dunans off the block. It opens it up for offense.
Turn into defense, which has been solid all game, into the offense. Boy, TJ Dunans, again, going downhill when not settling for jump shots. The birthday boy, 24 years old, getting a big bucket for the Tigers.
It was Anthony McLemore with the block. Every time Oklahoma makes a run, an answer from Auburn. And the answer now, a 12-point lead. Under 7 minutes left. Good backdoor look from Freeman. And Odens is having a nice game tonight. He's got 11 points.
Running their offense through Freeman is really smart because it stretches out that Auburn defense.
Dunans in high gear right now. McNeese is fouled on the reach.
That's growth and maturity from Freeman. TJ Dunans was the #1 junior college player in the country coming in. He is long, rangy, and he's coming at you. And Freeman knows he's not going to shoot long jump shots, so he gave him some space, but contained him enough. That was excellent defense by Freeman.
There's going to be a lot of moments. You saw that last exchange between McLemore, the freshman, and Bruce Pearl. First there was that intensity of Pearl, and then you saw almost the look on Pearl's face like, oh yeah, I'm talking to another freshman. Let's make it a teaching moment. There's a pat on the back and go get him after that.
You know, what's interesting about Bruce Pearl, as we mentioned, he has two previous starters who are suspended. Bryce Brown was suspended. He back reinstated with the team. And Horace Spencer as well started games this year, back with the team, but he has not played them this evening. And it's one of those things where when players get suspended, fans say, well, you only get suspended for a game. What's it do? And Bruce Pearl's take is like a lot of coaches. The train's leaving the station, and just because you can catch up to the train at the next station doesn't mean you're free and clear of punishment.
As he put it, he said those guys were suspended. They served their suspension, but they've lost their spots now. They have to earn those spots back. Odoms. And Wiley may have gotten a piece of him.
Well, Purifoy's trying to play without fouling. And as an inexperienced player, watch Purifoy. He's just trying to kind of stay out of the way. He's not much of a defender anyway. I love that Austin Wiley sticks his hand straight up like he didn't do anything. He clearly fouled. We got replay, Austin.
Here's Odoms.
Well, we mentioned Richard. Grew up in both Texas and in Baltimore. Was a football player and basketball player. Followed in his brother Raheem's footsteps. Brother Raheem had his high school number retired. A bit of a mama's boy, but that's not a bad thing.
No. The lead is 8. Auburn playing with the lead. Under 6 minutes left. Chance to take down Oklahoma. That shot blocked. That time Harper had it blocked. Here comes Oklahoma. Odoms, Shepard, and a free throw. And Oklahoma gets a little bit closer.
Look at how savvy this play is from Shepard. Jumps in, draws the contact, double clutches, holds it just so, and gets an and one. Potential three-point play the old-fashioned one. Jordan Shepard.
Big sequence. First the defensive stop, and then the three-point play. The run for Oklahoma at 7-0. Breaking the pressure. Dunans flying through the lane.
It's a little awkward, but trust me, that's his game. And then he gets a little steal. Deflection. Lon Kruger cannot get the toughness inside that he wants from any of his centers. It's interesting on how, due to foul trouble and other issues, he's gone away from Kadeem Latin.
You had Freeman in there, more of a perimeter guy. Jamani McNeese is in. He'll set the screen. Slipping through it is Odoms, and a cross-court pass. Heron with the steal.
That's carry.
And he carried it as he came into front court. You see Bruce Pearl's reaction.
The ball. Listen, the rule is the ball has to stop. Let's see. It's still spinning, spinning, spinning. Yeah, it stops. It's good. I mean, I don't think there was advantage gained. He probably carried it again after the whistle. It's not that the ball, your hand can't be under the ball. It's if the ball comes to a stop.
Doolittle's back in. Backing in. Got Wiley in the air and will get free throws out of it.
That time I think Wiley actually has a beat. I think he had his cone of verticality. You see, let's see if he's got his cone on. Now he jumped for it. But it was pretty good, pretty close to cone of verticality. He's like, look, this is my second game. I don't know about this cone of verticality thing. Am I going to learn that in class? Is that a 100 or a 200 level class? Now this is not
the cult of personality, but the cone of verticality.
Bruce Pearl going back with the exception of TJ Dunans. He's going back with his 4 freshmen.
Purifoy's back in. Heron. Harper's in there.
Heron's taking off. He doesn't know Jared Harper's pressing. One-man press break, Jared Harper.
Well, and he calls a timeout smartly. He got to half court. It wasn't a double team. It turned into a triple team.
Now, Oklahoma's hanging around. Only
where the game never ends.
60-55. Auburn on top. 4:30 left. Rich Waltz, Doug Gottlieb, Jamie Erdahl here at the Mohegan Sun. Birthday of Basketball Classic. Fairfield took down Boston College in the first game. Auburn has played with the lead, although that lead has shrunk down to 5. TJ Dunans around and up, and was it touched? Did Wiley touch it?
Well, look, if he touched it, it's goaltending. I just didn't see if he touched it.
They called basket interference. Here's a look.
I don't think he touched it.
I don't think he touched it.
Don't think he touched it. No.
He did touch the rim.
If he touched the rim, then it is goaltending.
He did touch the rim.
The net, I think the rim with the ball's on it, it's goaltending.
That obviously could have gone either way. Doolittle.
There's a ball don't lie.
Short on the jumper.
Very interesting what Lon Kruger is doing. Not playing Kadeem Latin. Latin trying to do too much. This is what happens. You lose Isaiah Cousins and Buddy Hield and Jordan Woodard not playing. He tries to take over offensively, but I still think you need his shot blocking and leadership.
Oklahoma wants a double dribble, and one of the officials from the near corner calls it. Auburn incensed. Well, Bruce Pearl didn't like the basket interference call. He sure didn't like that double dribble call.
I believe it should not be a timeout. Bruce Pearl is giving Courtney Green.
Well, Auburn certainly has a great opportunity here to go to 9-2. Oklahoma 5 down to Bruce Pearl and the Tigers. All right, Jamie Erdahl, former point guard herself, was listening in on the huddle. What'd you hear?
Well, if my whiteboard interpretation of Lon Kruger is correct, the reason why we're not seeing Kadeem right now is because he wants all the action, as you see, to go through the top of the point, the top of the key right there. So you don't want that big man low post in. He wants those dribble slashes into the lane. He doesn't want those fouls done, but, you know, he wants that action right into the middle of the lane.
I totally understand that, Jamie. Look, Kadeem Latin was trying to do too much. But Jamani McNeese is standing down there at the basket. He's not a face-up shooter. I think it's, in all candor, it's probably a little bit of, yes, he wants the floor spread out, but he also is not happy with Kadeem Latin trying to go one-on-one and get his shot against Austin Wiley, who he doesn't think can guard him.
We saw Lon Kruger with a sour face after that last call. Dunans has to run it down. Clock under 8. Dunans rises and missed the 3. Long rebound. Harper! Whoa, Jared Harper. Lightning quick.
The rule is when you're a point guard, you're always back. Always. Always, 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 always. The only exception is if you go, you better get that basket back. Because otherwise it's a layup at the other end, and Jared Harper gathered that ball and got away.
Got the basketball, stretches the lead to 7. Doolittle around the defense and then missed the layup. Heron slices, contact, and a block. McNeese and Mustafa Heron's going to the free throw line for Auburn.
Guys, right here, guys. Right here, too.
Here's Jared Harper going for it. If he misses, Doolittle's dunking and smacking that backboard. If you go, you got to get it. And Jared Harper smartly gets the ball just after it bounces off the ground. A little trick to him. Right? Kind of short hopping. When do pitchers and catchers report to the Marlins?
Oh, probably mid-February, 3rd week of February.
Very well aware, calling the Marlins games with the little short hop. Short hopped and laid it in.
Lead is 8. Now it's 9. And Oklahoma running out of time. 2.5 minutes left. Down 9. Shepard a clear 3. Got it. High ball screen. And the freshman Jordan, in a long time, trying to conjure points up without Jordan Woodard, with Kadeem Latin not playing well, and with a lot of freshmen and sophomores out there seeing minutes they've never seen before. Auburn, little full court pressure. Of course, they toss it into a 17-year-old.
Bruce Pearl said they just put in their full court press breaker yesterday in 7 or 8 minutes here at Mohegan Sun.
Well, Wiley showed up just in time for that.
Yeah. What I missed. He didn't miss press break.
Approaching 2 minutes left. Shot clock at 10. Harper driving. And McNeese with the body.
McNeese has just got to be, he's got to be more aware. has to be more. It's really hard because his man is doing what's called a sprint-up ball screen. And now we're going to see Kadeem Latin, but
that's 5 fouls on Jamani McNeese, and so Kadeem Latin is back in.
Well, when you sprint up there, you have to be under control, knowing Jared Harper, who frankly leads the world in flails and flops in the SEC, is going to drive at you and make you foul him.
Where did you rank in the Big
Flails and
8
flops?
in flails and flops?
I was Big 12. I'm old. I'm not that old.
Okay.
Just because the hairline is receding, don't date me yet.
Sorry.
We played with leather basketballs.
Not a peach basket.
No peach basket.
All right. In the Big 12, where did you rank in flails and flops?
I was not a flopper.
Okay.
I was not a flopper. It was before I honestly think the Europeanization of the NBA, the Ginobili's, the throwing back your head like Melo Trimble, and frankly, Marcus Smart, when he played for Oklahoma State, like, that is new to the game. Would you sell a charge? Yeah, you'll sell a charge.
Oh, a steal. And Harper, tough to catch him. And he's bumped. Shepard with the foul.
He's so good at it. He's so good. Watch how quick his hands are. Again, kind of getting that short hop. You dribble, you do a little flop there, he gets the ball, and now watch, jumps in, creates contact. Jordan Shepard, what can I do? Very, very difficult to defend somebody as smart as Jared Harper.
Big night for Harper. 16 tonight. But he misses there.
Now, you mentioned the Texas Tech win. He missed a bunch of free throws down the stretch. He's, reputation-wise, very good free throw shooter. It has not played out as such thus far in his freshman year.
Just 60% coming into the ball game. It's 1 of 2. The lead is 9. Shepard skips it. Rising is Doolittle, and he hits it. It's a 2.
Beautiful offense from Oklahoma. You got to ask yourself, where has that been? And now remember, 30 seconds on the shot clock. You don't have to foul. You might get a quick trap here past half court. Look at that. What a pass.
It was right.
That's the coffin. This is the coffin corner. You got the sideline and the baseline. Your sideline, excuse me, and the midcourt line. He jumped up and winged it left-handed.
Dunans. Dunans! Right hand! Loud and proud, and down it goes. Wow. 69-60. And like a giant wave, you could see that one building. And a 3 by Doolittle for Oklahoma.
Needed points the most. He's made the defensive plays. He's led the team. He's just a freshman. The freshie has taken over and played an outstanding second half. I'm Doug Gottlieb, and I approve of that voting.
Young and talented is this Auburn team, and they're really showing it. Dunans, one of the older Tigers. Of course, he's the senior, but not in the starting lineup. But Harper, a freshman. Mustafa Heron, a freshman. Angel Purifoy, a freshman. Of course, Austin Wiley, really a freshman at 17. Those are the 4 freshmen that started and have played an awful lot tonight for Bruce Pearl.
Well, the challenge for Bruce Pearl's bunch, now that they appear pretty close to locking this thing up, is can you parlay this into a win against UConn at the XL Center in a day and a half? That's a monumental challenge. And then you got to go home. On the 29th, you got Georgia, one of the more talented teams in the SEC.
Latin is fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line.
And Ole Miss, excuse me, you got Georgia, then at Vandy, who's down this year. Ole Miss, tough game, but at home. At Missouri, arguably the worst team in the SEC. Lost again to Illinois tonight. And then you go to Kentucky. Not a murderer's row schedule in the SEC to begin. Not a walk in the park. I mean, the big one is this UConn game. You come up and you can get 2 on a road trip to Connecticut after to Boston College earlier this year.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, that would put them at 10-2.
And, you know, the argument could easily be made to an NCAA selection if they're able to get to that point down the road. Bruce Pearl, I've talked to him. He doesn't think this is an NCAA tournament team, but you never know. A young team gets confidence, and they have a lot of talent with Purifoy and Mustafa Heron. So at the end of the year, you can sit there and say, hey, look, all that stuff before Austin Wiley, we added a starting center, and he's going to get better. His 8th day with the team.
One would think. And it's Harper back at the line, trying to stretch the lead. It's 6 now. Just under 40 seconds left. And you saw Auburn's road.
Oklahoma, it gets real here as Jared Harper gets one to crawl in. We got Baylor at home. Remember, students are out of town. At TCU, who's off to a hot start. At K-State in the Octagon of Doom. And I think the students are just about back. And then you got KU. How about Kansas has beaten Oklahoma 16 of the last 17 times they played.
Yikes.
And nobody. No Isaiah Cousins. That Big 12. There's and Udoka Azubuike, the center for Kansas, you'll see tomorrow night. You see Kansas, you won't see Azubuike. He's out for the year, broken wrist.
James, not a 3, drives, and a foul will stop the clock and get free throws for Oklahoma.
So I don't know if there's a great team, although Baylor's resume is great. People in the Big 12, I think, understand their style a little bit better. It's harder. Same thing with West Virginia. But you tell me when there's an easy game in the Big 12. There just isn't, and it's a double round robin.
What was it, 7 of 10 teams made the tournament last year?
Yep. And, Texas Tech's an older team, not great, but solid. Kansas State got some age to them, got some youth they bring off the bench. I think Texas will get better. Oklahoma State is remarkably better under first-year head coach Brad Underwood. Juwan Evans, Jeffrey Carroll having an amazing season.
They had a terrific effort against Wichita State.
A game that Oklahoma let slip away in the All-College in Oklahoma City. Double digits in the first half. Lost to Wichita. So obviously this is one for OU, where they fought to just hang around and could not make a shot without Jordan Woodard.
Oklahoma is going to get it back. They are down 6. And there's 30 seconds left. The shot clock is off now. And what's been troubling Oklahoma tonight, 33% shooting from distance, 33% shooting from the field.
Well, they have very good sideline quick hitters. Doolittle has hit his last 2 jump shots. Don't be surprised if he gets another one here.
Doolittle over to James, rises for 3, well short. Doolittle bounced it off of an Auburn Tiger. I think it was off Heron. And so Oklahoma's still alive.
Outstanding effort by Doolittle. Throws it off of Heron. Heron gets stuck. I think they're going to review it, but that's actually good news for Oklahoma. You got 2 timeouts. You want to review it? Fine. Now we're going to put in our out of bounds. Now, for Bruce Pearl, one of the things they do, which is unique, is what's called big on the ball. I think this one's a pretty easy review, right? We both agree this is Oklahoma ball.
He's not out, and he is out.
Yeah, so that's a pretty easy call. Anyway, Bruce Pearl, one of the things they haven't been able to do with Austin Wiley, and they'll probably not have him in the game, is put a big man on the ball and then trap the initial inbounds pass. That's something that Bruce Pearl has taken from Dr. Tom Davis, and something you don't see often. We'll see if Oklahoma can just get the ball in bounds, let alone score on inbounds.
Let's see how they do it. Shepard will trigger it in for Oklahoma. Odoms, Latin, Doolittle, and James also on the floor for the Sooners. Best 3-point shooter of the bunch by percentage is Christian James. And tonight he's 1 of 4 from beyond the arc. Doolittle in traffic, in trouble. James a 3, rims out, Latin tips, saved by Dunn, and Auburn is headed back to the free throw line with 10 seconds left and a 6-point lead. And as Doug pointed out, we'll see Kansas tomorrow here on CBS Sports Network. Number 3 Kansas at the Thomas and Mack to take on UNLV at 9. Only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. And to start the night, at 7 Eastern, Marshall and number 24, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So you got top 25 teams, Cincinnati and Kansas.
Cincinnati and Marshall separated by about an hour and a half, I believe. Huntington, West Virginia, not far from Cincinnati. Well, Jacob Evans is a tremendous talent for Mick Cronin and the Bearcats.
Dunans' dunk certainly will be on the highlight reel of this one tonight as Auburn comes to Connecticut for 2 games, the first against Oklahoma. It's a foul on Harper with 4 seconds left. And he'll get 3 free throws.
Of all the guys that cannot complain about a call going against them when somebody jumps into them, Jared Harper's kind of first in line. Like, hey, I kind of used my move.
Auburn here for 2 games. This one, and then UConn in less than, 48 hours.
Yeah. It's a tough tournament.
2 shots.
And I know a fan sitting there going, wait a second, AAU ball, they play a couple hours later. A little bit different, the energy that's expired in a college basketball game.
A little more on the defensive side?
Yes. Not just that, just locking in mentally. You're playing against better talent. And UConn is starting to play better. And it's a game they desperately need to win.
Well, Kruger calls a timeout. All right, there's 4 seconds left here, Doug. It's a 5-point game.
I don't know.
The birthday of basketball, that's the celebration here, and the birthday of TJ Dunans. He turns 24 on a night he goes for 21.
Nickname's TD, and the reason is because they had TJ Lang. And we got to come up with a different nickname. We already have a TJ. So his son is TD3, which is a great name. Although eventually if they get to TD6 or TD7, that kid's got to play for him.
Shepard hits the free throw. So Auburn getting ready to inbound. They're going to shuffle in a couple players. You get Harper back in the game. Also TJ Lang back in the game. Let's see, Doug, if they do throw it.
See, they're face guarding, so you want to bring everybody up and have somebody go long.
Heron, and he is not fouled. And so Auburn comes to Connecticut, and they win this game. They take down Oklahoma of the Big 12. Bruce Pearl and the Tigers are off.